If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through?
So this is a new game that I'm playing, guys, for all my Clash people or my Worn Order people. Worn Order is dead. There's no new continents, no new realms for you to be able to join and actually start up in. It's pretty much non-existent. It's all bot farms now. Clash of Kings, they've just gone way too crazy with the stats, and it's just not fun to play anymore. So this is a new game that I've decided to try, and I figured I would do a little bit of a guide in here and some explanation on the new troops and stuff that are coming out. So let me just pause this recording and I'll swap over to my other account. Now this game is called Savage Survival. It is, I want to say, probably my favorite game that I've played in the past 2 years. This is my account on Continent 1, because this stuff is not released in my continent yet. So, okay, for the new troops, it will be Radiant 5. Right now, in my other continent, max level is Tribe Center 30. You can't see any of the Radiant stuff until you get there. You use this stuff called Magnemite, which you can't see because I'm not TC30 on this account. You have to get the TC30 to unlock Radiant. It's basically prestige in other games. But they've just released an update, and I wanted to cover this, so we'll go over here to the Archery range. And we'll go up to T10, and we'll do a little bit of an evaluation here. So you have the T9, which are the defensive units in most games, you know. Defense, these archers have the defensive buff. And right now the game is really balanced, as in troops being countering. But there are definitely their own things. So right now, Javelineers may attack multiple rows, greatly increases attack range, greatly increases attack, and buff for defending Tribe Center. Then you have your T10, which buff against all troops but Barbarians, double attack, Phantom Arrow, which is archers may deal extra damage to the row behind the target, and critical damage. This skill for them is very overpowered. It is very, very good. But the T9 actually kill more in most solo attacks than the T10. The T10 kill more in rallies. Now these T11 are kind of insane. We can just look at the stat jump from the T9 to the T10. The stat jump right here is absolutely insane. Now you have advanced defense, which greatly increases attack when defending a tribe center, which that will be better than the T9's buff. First opportunity. Before a battle, deal 5 extra deadly attacks on enemy troops. Now, a deadly attack may randomly attack a target except Guardian. Javelineers may attack multiple rows of troops. So it has the same special skill, but it's got 2 other skills that are going to make it very strong. Now, to unlock these new T11 troops, you have to be Radiant 5. And you also have to come down here, and one of these research trees will be opened at Radiant 5 as well. Unlocks Temple of Wisdom, reaches Radiant 5. Once you get your Temple of Wisdom, which is your college essentially, basically just stats and stuff like that, but these will give you troop types that you can build. So you have the archers, and you have the barbarians. So we go up to the T9, they have the jump slash. These are your rider counters. These directly attack the riders with the jump slash, greatly increases damage dealt by barbarians, increases damage dealt to riders, and may deal triple damage. These are your guards, these are your front line. Now, these come in wave 3, because you have these behind the T9 Behemoth as well. But your T10, you know, the shield wall stops rider charges, The strength greatly increases HP, pretty typical for what we see on these type of games. Then we jump over here to the T11, which these aren't going to be too crazy, but increases rider damage and hit rate, may counter charge attacks. That might end up being, you know, pretty good. May deal triple damage, same thing as the T9, but it's just a different name because it's a radiant troop. And Horn Gore, greatly increases attack and slightly adds armor piercing. These I don't see being too crazy, but there is a pretty big stat jump in between that and this. Then we can go over here to, and it'll be the same thing. You'll have to come in here and research it. And if you come over here to the riders, this is where I think it's gonna start getting powerful. So if you come to the T9, T9 have resource battle, march speed, and charge, which is gonna attack the enemy range units. And barrage, mounted archers may deal extra damage to the first row when charging. Follow up, the Vanguard's attack increases. These are your T10s. You have dodge, which may evade attacks. You have agility, which greatly increases marching speed, and you have charge again. The dodge makes the T10 pretty good, but you don't get as many losses with the T10 as you do the T9s. The T9s die an insane amount. Now, these guys have the same, these T11, which if we go and we look at the stat jump, we have a 10% attack, a base attack stat jump. We have more defense, more HP. It's a huge difference. It's an insane difference. You have swift dodge, which you don't have this on the T9s, which should make them die less. Imitating charge, which, you know, is going to attack the long range units. Fatal strike, which this is where you don't have on any of the riders, which is you may deal triple damage. And on top of that, your barrage, the first row, which is the T10 Guardians. T10 Guardians are your first row of defense, and as rounds go on, the row moves back. So that I think will end up being very overpowered. The T9, the T11 riders. But then here's where we come down to where it is going to be busted. Behemoth are going to be so strong, it's not even funny. Behemoth right now in the game are kind of the meta for one-on-one attacking. They do an insane amount of damage, and they just absolutely slaughter. But in rallies and stuff like that, they don't do as much, they don't do as well as if it was a solo hit. Solo hits, they're just not, there isn't anything that you can't hit with a fucking Behemoth march. They are very strong. If you have someone who, you know, has a real good counter to you, whatnot, you might get the rare circumstances where you don't match up, but most of the times you are going to be able to beat them with Behemoth. Now, T11 are not like the T9. T9, these are your front line. These are right behind the Guardians in the line, and they are very strong. These are what you want to use with riders. You want to use Behemoth and riders. You don't want to use Barbarians and riders. They get good kills together, but you don't have anything to wipe out the front line, and when you build Behemoth and rider, you now have T10 at your disposal, which do very good at killing the front line. And T9 are also super tanky, and most of the skills on the Behemoth beasts that you need for a rider march, they come with HP and defense for Behemoth. But you have your T10, which, you know, they have good stats. And then we jump up here to these things. And these things are just mental. So you have Meteorite, which is, you know, normal as T10. They increase Marauder attack. But then the difference is when you go Enhanced Attack, okay, attack buff when attacking Tribe Center, Rage, and Hawkeye. which these guys don't need attack range. They have a 10 rating on the attack range, which pretty much they hit every single thing in the formation. Then you come to these guys, and they increase attack and damage, and it increases attack while it increases your attack while attacking tribe centers and slightly increases the damage when defending. So these just became really good because you have T9s that can hold the line, and now you have these, which are going to buff your damage on defense. Rampage greatly increases attack damage versus Barbarians, which these are your barb killers. These are what's going to destroy Barbarians. And your combo attack may hit target multiple times, up to 3 times with one attack. That right there is going to make these things absolutely insane. They deal an insane amount of damage backline, but all of these troops will be the same way to get. You need to get Radiant 5, and then you need to get a Radiant 5 Temple of Wisdom and do the research for them. To be Radiant 5, you have to get to Tribe Center 30, and then things will unlock. To get Radiant, though, you have to be EOC 3 or more. Now, as you can see, this is just basically an account that I use to look for updates on the game and stuff like that. I don't actually play over here. All of these beasts, realistically, you need every single one of them. This is just a basic rundown guide of new troops and explaining the game a little bit, but I really like it. I like the team play aspect of it, and I think it's a game that could be worth getting into if you're a mobile war type person. But I think that's going to conclude this video. So thank you guys for watching. Let's roll the end.